I did. It was so fun. Oh my god, as a huge Disney fan, it was so exciting to finally get to go to D23.
Yeah.
I live on the East Coast, so I was never able to go, and also tickets sell out like in a.
My advice to them was to not hear the noise as much, to continue doing the job that we've entrusted them to do.
Hey, it's Macy. Has Disney finally run out of magic? That's the question echoing across social media and Hollywood gossip columns after a year filled with underperforming remakes, plummeting stock prices, and waves of online backlash. Even Disney's most loyal fans are starting to wonder if the House of Mouse has lost its edge. Movies like The Little Mermaid and Elemental sparked more debate than excitement, and sequels like Indiana Jones and The Dial of Destiny couldn't set the box office on fire. With the Disney brand taking so many hits in just 1 year, observers began to ask, are these just flukes, or are there deeper issues brewing behind the castle walls? Amidst the turmoil, one project stood out above the rest, a controversial new take on Snow White. It was meant to remind everyone why Disney is the undisputed king of fairy tale adaptations. Instead, it became a lightning rod for scandal, leaks, and public feuds, further damaging Disney's image. As the Snow White crisis deepened, rumors of backstage drama and creative overhauls swirled, raising serious questions about Disney's future. Could a modern princess story reignite the magic of the 1937 classic, or would 2023 become the year Disney's spell finally broke? In the chapters ahead, we'll explore how this legendary studio found itself on shaky ground. We'll dive into the behind-the-scenes clashes that led to canceled spin-offs, furious fan reactions, and an internal shakeup so significant that it could change Disney's approach to remaking its most beloved classics. Whether you're a lifelong Disney fan or a casual observer of blockbuster disasters, the Snow White saga serves as a cautionary tale about how quickly a fairy tale can turn into a fiasco. As Bob Iger and his team scramble to pick up the pieces, Disney's future and perhaps its century-old magic hangs in the balance. 2023 has been especially brutal for the company. Movie after movie struggled at the box office, leaving many to wonder if Disney's spark has finally fizzled out. Major releases like The Little Mermaid and Elemental fell short of expectations, and even the star-studded revival of Indiana Jones and The Dial of Destiny received a tepid reception. Critics, fans, and industry insiders started whispering that the Disney magic might be fading. As if that weren't enough, the company's stock took a shocking dive, hitting lows not seen in nearly a decade, further reinforcing the idea that these cinematic misfires were more than just one-offs. Initially, it felt like a string of bad luck. The timing of certain releases, unexpected competition, and shifting audience tastes were all blamed for the poor performance. But the truth might be something more complicated.
The rice has to be body temperature, and if it takes too long to serve it, it's no longer body temperature. But what was interesting to me about him was he had 3 Michelin stars, and he was still trying to learn how to get better, how to be better.
Yes.
And I showed that to executives at Disney.
As the losses piled up, people started pointing fingers in all directions. Some argued that Disney had relied too heavily on remakes and sequels, failing to offer fresh storytelling. Others claimed that the content itself was too divisive, pushing away longtime fans who yearned for Disney's signature sense of wonder. Social media chatter grew louder, highlighting everything from rushed production schedules to perceived mismanagement at the highest levels. Meanwhile, internal rumors hinted that the struggle went deeper than just ticket sales, suggesting leadership shakeups and frantic strategy sessions behind closed doors. All this turmoil set the stage for the next big controversy: the live-action Snow White. Even before the trailer was released, whispers of script changes, visual redesigns, and unexpected casting choices had fans clashing online. Disney was already in damage control mode from its earlier disappointments, and the pressure to make Snow White a hit was enormous. Yet, with lingering doubts about the studio's creative direction, many wondered if this classic story could save Disney's troubled year or if it would become just another symbol of the company's downward spiral. As 2023 progressed, it became clear that what started as a few box office bombs had morphed into something far more damaging, a full-blown crisis for a legendary brand. With Snow White poised to be the next test, audiences everywhere were left asking, how much worse could it get? Everyone knew a live-action Snow White was coming sooner or later, but no one expected it to become one of Disney's most talked-about disasters before it even hit theaters. From the outset, rumors circulated about massive script rewrites and a shift in tone that risked alienating fans of the classic animated original. When leaked on-set photos revealed that the iconic Seven Dwarfs might be replaced or at least heavily reimagined, outrage erupted across social media, with fans accusing Disney of neglecting tradition. The studio tried to quell the uproar by insisting they were modernizing a timeless fairy tale for new generations, but to many, it felt like they were stripping away the very charm that made the 1937 animated film a beloved piece of cinematic history. With Rachel Zegler cast in the titular role, anticipation surged. She was hailed as a fresh face with the potential to bring a new dimension to Snow White. Yet almost as soon as she stepped into the spotlight, the conversation shifted. Some of the cast's comments about avoiding the old-fashioned elements of the story sparked debate among die-hard Disney loyalists and casual viewers alike. Social media quickly became a battleground, with some praising Disney for tackling dated tropes, while others warned that the essence of the classic was at risk of being lost. As more details trickled out, like planned changes to the prince's role and a stronger emphasis on empowering Snow White, the production began to feel more like a gamble Disney couldn't afford to lose. The trouble only intensified with each new rumor, and stunned fans were left wondering if the film was truly about revitalizing a childhood favorite or just another attempt to chase headlines.
Is not designed right now to necessarily develop great leaders or to encourage more people to seek public office. It just is far more difficult. Now, I've never been in it, but from what I observe, it's far more difficult to run for office today than ever before.
As the controversy surrounding Snow White deepened, statements from Disney grew increasingly vague, and interviews with the cast sometimes contradicted the studio's promotional materials, fueling speculation that serious problems were brewing behind the scenes. By the time a teaser trailer was finally hinted at, Disney's recent string of lackluster releases had already primed audiences to be skeptical and maybe even cynical about the film's prospects. Given how badly the studio needed a win to rebound from its 2023 slump, this unexpected swirl of controversy had executives scrambling. They knew the stakes were impossibly high. If Snow White stumbled, it could end up validating every harsh criticism leveled at Disney that year. As whispers of production setbacks and creative clashes spread, fans could only wonder if this storied fairy tale was destined to become the next big casualty in Disney's roughest year yet. Before the Snow White saga took such a contentious turn, Rachel Zegler's career appeared to be on a blazing trajectory. She had emerged from near obscurity when she was chosen for a high-profile role in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, a casting decision that seemed to herald her overnight success. Critics praised her vocal range, dramatic flair, and her seemingly effortless ability to captivate an audience. Practically overnight, she went from filming cover songs in her bedroom to being lauded as one of Hollywood's most promising new talents. It made sense that Disney, always on the lookout for fresh faces to lead their big-budget remakes, saw Zegler as the perfect fit for Snow White, young, talented, and boasting a new kind of star power that could resonate with modern viewers. Yet, as production on Snow White rolled along, cracks began to show. Whispers emerged that Zegler and Disney executives weren't always on the same page. Much of this conflict seemed to revolve around the public-facing image of the film and, by extension, Zegler herself. Disney was eager to protect and preserve the legacy of their first princess, but they also wanted to present this Snow White as independent and contemporary. Zegler, for her part, seemed keen on making bold statements in interviews, determined to highlight the film's modern reimagining and shrug off what she saw as outdated fairy tale tropes. Where she saw an opportunity to shake up tradition, Disney saw the risk of alienating hardcore fans, Soon, some of Zegler's statements sparked unexpected backlash. She gave candid remarks in interviews about not wanting to be the damsel in distress and hinted that key elements of the original story felt uncomfortable or even antiquated by today's standards. While some applauded her candor, especially younger viewers who wanted a different spin on older material, others felt she was dismissing Walt Disney's classic as irrelevant. As these comments spread online, rumors began circulating that Disney reps were frustrated with how openly Zegler was diverging from the studio's carefully choreographed messaging.